Joining us on the broadcast is Major Mohammad Ali Shah. We also have former Ambassador Deepak Vohra with us on the broadcast. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming and taking some time out to have this conversation, which of course requires a lot of discussion because it is of course getting complicated. One of the main demands yesterday that was put out by the Nagaland Chief Minister was rolling back of AFSPA. Now we understand that of course the other demand that has been made by the people of Nagaland is also removal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, yesterday, we were having this conversation and we were talking about how AFSPA is, you said, and that AFSPA cannot be fully repealed, but amendments can be made. Sir, what is your take on this, as far as the amendments are concerned? Because, it is a matter of fact that AFSPA does provide complete impunity to armed personnel in case something does go wrong.
Most certainly. See, I feel if we do away with AFSPA, which is a debate right now, armed forces will not be able to function at all, and there is no point of having the armed forces over there. You might as well hand it over to the state police, and the armed forces can very welcome in a very graceful way exit from that. There's no point. It's like giving a gun but not giving a bullet. So there's no point having a danda as a gun. So now secondly, of course, with all due empathy and all the respect and all the emotion and my feelings for the brethren in Nagaland and in other affected places where AFSPA is actually there implemented. Like, I'll give you an example of a film in which I acted in called Vishal Bhardwaj's film Haider, which won 5 national awards, where I played a soldier, and there was there is a line in which I say, "No militant dead or alive is worth my soldier's life." Now, it's not a dialogue from a movie, it's my real life, my actual experience. Because you cannot, and if at all there is an amendment which has to be made, we can make amendments like, it gives us, as per the Geneva Conventions, it gives us the special power to halt any vehicle anywhere based on suspicion, search, enter anyone's house, stop anyone's vehicle anytime based on suspicion, arrest anyone without an arrest warrant,
yes,
search anywhere without a search warrant. Till that's fine. Now, the part where we can fire, including causing casualty, that really needs to be looked upon.
Including deaths, yes. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, and I have to ask you, as far as, the case of 13 civilians being gunned down is concerned, from where you see it, having served in Nagaland, having served in the Northeast, do you not believe that, an act like the AFSPA that provides impunity to the forces also emboldens, to take steps that otherwise one would think twice before taking?
See, to be very, very honest, the incident that happened in Nagaland has nothing to do with AFSPA, logically speaking. Now, if people want to politicize it, because AFSPA is a demand of the people, not now. They have been demanding since God knows how many decades earlier. And that is the pulse of the local population over there. So now, when we talk about the Chief Minister's nephew, Rio, he's a very fine gentleman, very cultured gentleman. He comes from the Angami tribe. And in fact, I'm wearing an Angami tie right now. And this is a Sema shirt, it's a Sema jacket, which was gifted to me by my Naga friend when I was posted in Nagaland. So, with all due respect, he's a very fine gentleman. I know him personally. I've had several interactions with him. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, be it any politician, will try to politicize it, be it from any party, because they know the demand of the local people over there is first, let AFSPA be repealed from there. Now, because that is the local, and even they know, the politicians also know well enough that the armed forces cannot function without AFSPA. So if you want to maintain law and order, if you want to maintain peace, if you want the soldiers to do their job, AFSPA cannot be repealed from such disturbed areas. Now, on 11 September 1958, this rule actually was implemented. And also in 1976, as per the Special Courts of Disturbed Area Act, it implied that time Assam and Nagaland were one state. Later on when they split and when it went off to the Seven Sisters, it slowly, gradually moved on to that. But yet again, there are exceptions like in Arunachal. There are 7 districts. There are several districts in Arunachal where AFSPA is not actually applicable. Similarly, there are certain places like in Manipur, for example, in Imphal, proper Imphal capital of Manipur, it's a certain part of Manipur, even though it's disturbed, and it is not really applicable there. But it is applicable in Thogal and Palel and Kakshil, Morbi.
In Manipur also, you know, Major Mohammad Ali Shah, I remember there were mothers, there was a naked protest that was carried out by mothers when, there were charges that the army had in fact picked up a daughter of Manipur and, some harm was done to her, to say the least. Okay, all right, we will come back to you, Major Mohammad Ali Shah. Let's talk about Nagaland for now at least. Do you think that the insurgents could have a certain, backing coming from, Myanmar as well?
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege to be with you, learn from you on NewsX, and of course the outstanding soldier, Major Mohammad Ali Shah. First of all, my deepest condolences to the families of those who have been bereaved. But I'm wearing a shawl just as Major Saab is wearing a necktie and a jacket. I'm wearing a shawl gifted to me by a former chief minister. I go every year for the Hornbill Festival. And one of the things I do is ask my friends in the military to take me to a village called Mokok Chung. Major Shah knows about it. The prettiest women in the world come from there. I just go to look at them. I mean, not really. It's just so beautiful. They're very friendly people.
The Nagaland Chief Minister on Monday called for the repeal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, saying that the law has blackened the image of the country. The renewed demand comes after as many as 13 civilians were killed in the Mon district of the northeastern state over the weekend. So, having served in Nagaland, having served in the region, do you think, sir, that when it comes to anti-insurgency operations such as this, there is a certain sensitivity that also needs to be in place?
Yes, it does. But as Ambassador Deepak Vohra very rightly brought out the situation on ground, it's very easy to sit in Delhi or in an AC environment and discuss about it. But a soldier he's from a hardcore defense background, so he knows exactly what would have transpired on ground. He can empathize with a soldier. Now, giving my condolences to the bereaved families, and my heart goes out to Nagaland. In fact, I really consider myself, and Ambassador Deepak Vohra mentioned about the Ao tribe of Mokok Chung. The Aos have a peculiar, the way we in Sikh community we have sing and call. They have Las and Bas. La is a girl and Ba is a boy. So I'm Ali, for example. So I was known as Aliba. Moi laganam Aliba ase. Apuni logote log pai ke naam bishi bishi kuye pai she. So our tribe especially. So yes, we have to do an introspection first, and because we had actually concentrated in our time of winning hearts and minds. So in our time, I'm talking about the year 2005 to 2008, I was an ADC to the GOC 3 Corps in Rangapad, which commands the entire army of Manipur, Nagaland, Tripura, Mizoram and South Assam. And thereafter I was sidestepped to Assam Rifles, where it was easier because of my previous posting over there. I had that experience. Now, we had donated blood on a periodic, I don't know, I've lost count. I've actually lost count in the Naga hospital how many times I would have donated blood. Not only me, our entire battalion for that matter. It was led by our commanding officer who led from the example. Brigadier Gautam Ganguly, now that time Brigadier Gautam Ganguly, now Colonel Gautam Ganguly. Now we had built hospitals, we had built schools, we had conducted medical camps, we had done everything possible to win their hearts and minds. So now, when the locals over there would see us in uniform, they would always acknowledge us, always wave out to us, always say hello to us. And they say, Buibina, come and sit down, let's talk. And whenever they would see us, they would feel that the army, the armed forces are there to protect them, not to intimidate them. So that is the goodwill we had generated. And yes, you are right, you're absolutely right. One small mistake, which is it is under inquiry. The SIT has been set up for that. There's a high-level court of inquiry which has been ordered in this probe. Yes. So now, if proven guilty, then yes, action would be taken, and the strictest action must be taken if proven guilty at all. If it is it does not, if it comes out as was attributable to military service, for example, on ground only a soldier and the person involved at night over there knew what exactly transpired and what would have led to such a situation. One mistake, as you rightly brought out, that there was a protest by naked women. In fact, in the year 2004 also,
yes,
there was a Manorama Devi rape case where in Manipur, but nothing was proved ultimately in the court. the women came out naked with saying that Indian Army, please rape us with that thing. But nothing actually was proved at the end of the day on ground. Yes, and so see, the armed forces in these troubled areas have to walk a very tight rope. They have to maintain a balance between keeping peace over there and at the same time keeping the villagers, the locals, the tribals on their side. One small mistake, this was not a small mistake, this if proved to be a mistake, it was a grave concern, yes, but one small mistake can lead to years and decades of good work which people have been doing, which the predecessors have been doing in creating goodwill in that. And the only answer is, as Leo Tolstoy said on page number 56 in the book War and Peace, page of 56, in that chapter 3, paragraph 3, line 2, he said, being peaceful is better than being right. So now, irrespective, yes, it was a grave kind of what has happened, but my appeal to people of Nagaland is, firstly, it should not be politicized. Secondly, we maintain calm, because two wrongs don't make a right. They make a further wrong. And yes, most 100%, the armed forces is going to do a self-introspection once again, that what lessons learned, what went wrong, what could have gone wrong. And most certainly, because the Konyak tribe, again, let me tell you, on 11th November, we had the ambush on Colonel Biplab Tripathi, the commanding officer, the commandant of 46 Assam Rifles. He was martyred along with his wife, an 8-year-old son, and 4 gunmen of his. One of the gunmen, one of the bodyguards, or one of the QRT, Quick Reaction Team soldiers, was Rifleman Konyak. We all saw that video getting viral. His father gave a speech at his funeral that I have given one son, I have sacrificed one son for the nation. And I'm proud of that. He mentioned that so Konyaks are basically old headhunters of Nagaland and who are very, very cultured. Very cultured.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Ambassador Vohra, as well as Major Mohammad Ali Shah, for joining us.